This message goes directly to the 46th President of the United States of America, President Joe Biden, concerning the executive order which you issued on the 4th of February 2021 that you're going to place some sanctions on countries in the world who have laws banning same-sex marriage or homosexuality. This video is to make explanations as to why we in Africa do not support homosexuality or same-sex marriages. First of all, we in Africa do not support same-sex marriage or homosexuality because it is not natural. Most people think that homosexuality has some genetic role or genetic cause. In 1993, Dean Hammer, an American geneticist, claimed or proposed or theorized that there was something like a gay gene that causes homosexuality in people. But the most recent study carried out by scholars and geneticists from across the world, and the result came out in the year 2019, which was featured in Time.com, WashingtonPost.com, ScienceMagazine.com, proved that there was no such thing as a gay gene. They found that there were 5 genetic variations which could affect a person's sexuality, but genetics plays 1% to about 25% of a person's sexual behavior, not sexual orientation even. But the rest, about 75% or about 92%, are determined by a person's environment. And they also say that the 5 gene variations could only affect a person's sexuality by only about 1% or less. This shows that homosexuality is not natural and that it's a matter of choice or environment. Also, if a person that has any of the genetic variations or genetics that could affect a person's sexuality even to the 8% or 25%, and the person undergoes gay conversion therapy, guess what? The person is going to turn out to become straight. Also, if any person who does not have any form of genetic variation in terms of homosexuality should live with a man that is gay, and is influenced by the man who is gay, he will also turn out to be a gay. This shows that being a gay is more of a choice than of genetics. Some proponents of homosexuality or gay marriage claim that in Africa, women marry their fellow women. That is true and that is false at the same time. In Africa, what happens is that when a man marries a woman and the woman tries to give birth and could not, the woman can go looking for another woman to marry on behalf of her husband, so that when the woman gives birth, the woman that she married will give birth to a child that will then belong to the woman who married the woman. So it is just for the sake of childbirth and not for sex. It is the man that sleeps with the woman who the other woman married, who his wife married, and never the woman sleeping with her fellow woman. The same thing is obtainable in the Bible, in the book of Genesis, where Jacob, as we know it, married Rachel and Leah. When he married Rachel and Leah, he loved Rachel and did not love Leah. And Leah was giving birth to children, but Rachel was not giving birth to children. And after that, Rachel compelled Jacob to take her handmaiden as a wife to give birth to children on Rachel's behalf. Her sister Leah did the same to also have more children than her sister. This is what is obtainable in Africa, and never a woman going to pay lobola for a fellow woman to start sleeping with her. In Africa, it's a taboo. It is a heinous crime which can attract death. Also, another reason why we Africans do not accept same-sex marriage is because it is forbidden in religion. In Christianity and Islam, it is haram, or it is forbidden. In the books of Genesis and Romans, in the Holy Bible, in the Old and New Testaments, homosexuality is forbidden. According to the Bible, homosexuality was the cause of the destruction of the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah. In the book of Romans, which is in the New Testament, also, the Bible talks about homosexuality as a cause or as a sign of a seared conscience. The same law or principle applies in the Quran. In Surah 54, Surah Al-Qamar, the same story of Lot and the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah because of same-sex marriage is also repeated. So this is why we Africans do not accept homosexuality. Now, if there are things that President Joe Biden wants to do for Africans, that would be of good intention, of good motive for you to have good motives for Africa. Because you know that at least 34 African countries, out of 84 African countries, as of the year 2015, had laws prohibiting same-sex marriage. So whatever laws or sanctions against those who have laws against same-sex marriage is going to affect Africans. Now, if you want to do anything for Africans, here are some of the things you can do for Africans, because if you want to do something for Africans, you do based on what we Africans want to do for us. That is how we know we want to do something for us. Number one, the number one thing you can do for Africans is to help Africa in the area of decolonization. Decolonization, as we know it, is to undo colonization. And Africa is not yet free completely from colonization. We still have countries in Africa created for us by the Europeans, and they created these countries for themselves and by themselves. And we Africans are suffering because of these countries. Today, we call them African countries, but actually they are European spheres of influence which were created when the Europeans came together in the Berlin Conference in the year 1884, 1885. And these countries are what we still have in Africa, and we still call them African countries, whereas they are not. Also, France keeps collecting colonial taxes from former French colonies. According to some reports, according to the former AU Commission ambassador to the US, Dr. Arikana Chihombori, wow, African nations pay at least $500 billion to France year in, year out. And Africa, as we know, is already the poorest continent in the world, with only about $2.6 trillion GDP for 1.357 billion people. Whereas the US has about $21 trillion GDP for about 340 million people. So you can see how poor the African continent is. We need all the money in the world, yet these Europeans keep stealing from us. France, Britain, Portugal, they keep exploiting Africa. If you want to do something for Africa, President Biden, help Africans, help to stop the exploitation of Africa by pushing for the decolonization of Africa. Another way President Biden that can do something for Africans, number two, is to go for the reparation of Africa. Press for the reparation of Africa. For 500 years, Africa bled and Europeans fed. Europeans fed from Africa where Africa became lean. Through slave trade and through colonization and through now new colonialism. They have taken the wealth of Africa and Africans have left with nothing. We now want to go to Europe or go to America to get money. Press for the reparation for the African people. What Europeans took from us, help us to get back. What Americans took from us, help us to get back. And that is what you can do for we Africans, and we appreciate you. Thirdly, what you can do for Africans is to sanction African leaders who are misbehaving. We have many tyrants, many African leaders who want to rule forever just for the sake of power. Not that they have anything to offer, but they just want to enrich themselves and their families and impoverish the whole population. Place sanctions on them. Help to stop them from ruling Africa into ruins. And Africans would appreciate that. Also, fourthly, there's insecurity in Africa. A lot of African states are facing a lot of conflict. Central African Republic, there's conflict in Libya, there's conflict in South Sudan, conflict in Nigeria, conflict in the Horn of Africa, Somalia, Ethiopia, and so on and so forth. You can use your power as the president of the most powerful nation in the world to help to bring peace to nations of Africa. The finally is to open the door for more Africans to come into the United States of America through visa policies that are African friendly. Why do I say so? I say so because remittances from abroad into Africa account for so much in Africa. In the year 2018, in inner Africa, which most people call derogatively sub-Saharan Africa, in the year 2018, $46 billion came in from remittances from abroad into inner Africa. Compare it to only $32 billion foreign direct investment into inner Africa in the year 2018. That means Africa keeps getting more remittances from abroad than foreign direct investment, which shows that the more Africans that are abroad will also help the African economy, even more than foreign direct investments. Just like Europeans were also coming to Africa to get rich, and they still come to Africa to get rich. There's nothing wrong with Africans traveling outside Africa to make money and to send back to Africa, since it's the same purpose that they have in their heart or in their mind. Nigeria, as we know it, also accounts for about 50% of remittances into inner Africa. And by the year, that's because most Nigerians travel to US and UK, which are great economies. In the year 2018, about $25 billion came into Nigeria as remittances from abroad. That is about 6.1% of Nigeria's GDP in the year 2018. And that also accounts for about 10 times the foreign direct investment into Nigeria in the year 2018, was about $2 billion. And that's about 86% of Nigeria's federal budget in the same year 2018. Countries in Africa, like South Sudan, depends on foreign remittances for about 34.4% of its GDP, and Lesotho 21.3% of our GDP. This shows that the African economy depends so much on remittances from abroad, which is why I'm asking you to have a visa policy that will allow more Africans to come in to America, and to allow those who are in America to easily get their green card so they can work in America and remit money to those who are abroad, who will then use the money to invest in Africa as their own form of foreign direct investment. If you do this, President Biden, then we Africans will appreciate that you have done great for us. And thank you. God bless Africa, and God bless the United States of America.